Hey guys, it's the voice you've always had, returning here for a second installment of things that I feel are important to discuss and to just simply share in perspective with the rest of you who are willing to give me your time, which I am always grateful for and will continue to be. Also, wanted to emphasize that please submit suggestions or feedback so that we can potentially go back over those things and cover them in more detail. I would love to do that. That's a large part of why I'm doing this is to take as well as give from experience. So those of you who have experience, please share them if you're willing to, or ask, what do you have? What's your perspective in regards to this? And I'm going to do the best that I can to give you the in-depth perspective that I have of that particular topic or subject matter. So please do that and subscribe if you like. I'm not going to pressure that on you. I'm literally just doing this to hope that it reaches somebody in the right way and that it can offer them a little bit of peace in their life, as well as offer the ability to look at something in potentially a different perspective. I think that that's just such a unique thing that we have to offer one another. And that's kind of going into actually quite a bit what I want to discuss for this particular segment. I want to discuss appreciation. I think that that is such a overused phrase, but very misunderstood concept, ranging from personal life to work to spiritually, which also in my mind translates to religiously. I think that there's quite similarities in terms of that realm where that kind of falls in. And at the end of it all, they all have something to do with one another from my perspective. And I think that that's something that I really do want to cover as best as I can in a short amount of time. So once again, to not talk your ear off. Hitting the most important part right now, that would have to be the most basic forms of appreciation. I think a lot of us who are out there working our day-to-day jobs to continue to survive and to provide can totally see right away areas where we don't feel we're being given appreciation enough. I know that there's probably quite a bit of you right now who are thinking of those times or thinking of that event that just occurred where somebody just saying, hey, just want to let you know you did a really good job out there today. You totally killed it. Thank you so much for the hard work that you put in. Something along those lines would so greatly improve your work environment or maybe even your lifestyle or your academic career. And it's something that I don't think that we do enough sincerely. I think we have mastered in this day and age the ability to informalize sincerity, to casualize sincerity. It's a formality. We have formalized sincerity. It's just thank yous do come as a formality, and it's better to receive it as a formality than somebody not say it, in my opinion. But we have lost touch with keeping in touch with one another. And one of the best ways of doing that is showing appreciation. I mean, even if you go back into the ancient times of the world's history, there has been, in some way, shape, or form, a concept or a way of showing genuine appreciation. Trade is one of the oldest forms of communication that we're aware of. And no doubt, there was definitely somebody who gave a smile on their face when they received the kind of trade that they wanted. They got what they wanted, right? So that's a very primal way of looking at how we should actually look at rekindling the ability to stay appreciative to one another today. Sincerity, developing that emotional connectivity within yourself. A lot of that does come from your lifestyle. A lot of that does come from your immediate circumstances. And that's where that debate's going to go on with, well, if you keep a positive mentality, positive things will happen to you. And that's where the other side of that is, that just isn't the case. Life will throw anything at you, And where you're at and how you are is based on your shortcomings, right? It's not just staying positive all the time. It's allowing yourself to feel negativity so that you can understand a much more deeper and complicated aspect of humanity in order to be able to relate more to your environment and to build resistance and this and that. I'm actually emphasizing on the other half of that a little bit more than the positive side, because the positive side is not wrong necessarily, but I'm the kind of person who does believe that both go hand in hand with being able to lead the kind of life that you're ultimately seeking to establish. And that, so reining it back in, we're going to go back to the appreciation aspect, the concept right now. We're going to go ahead and talk about what can you do right now to start to feel like there's a difference in your life. I don't know what kind of mood you're in. I don't. But I do know that everybody could use a little bit of appreciation in their life. Plain and simple. That's exactly, truly what I believe in my heart. And so I'm going to give you that appreciation right now. Thank you for coming here and putting in the effort to just listen. I genuinely appreciate you. And so I hope that that sits with you for a minute. I hope that that really does affect you positively. Because I don't know what you've been through, and I'm never going to claim to. But I do know this, that if you're listening, you've already exerted effort, and you've done me a favor by coming by and giving me your ear. And I genuinely appreciate you for that. And that's one thing, just from that moment, I want you to hold on to that feeling. If you did feel genuine appreciation, and if I failed in that, I do apologize. But if you did manage to feel the genuine appreciation that I intended from my heart just then, I want you to please memorize that, because somewhere in your unconscious mind, that is triggering something. It's triggering that resonance of emotion, of joy. I think that so many of us are exposed to the spectrum of emotion from childbirth into adulthood. And a lot of us who don't experience it often, or who don't project it often, begin to lose that feeling of it. But when it hits us and it leaves us surprised and it leaves us genuinely happy, that tells us that we should probably nurture that area of our lives more, or it'd be nice if the world could have more of that, right? So I do feel like the world is starved of that. I do think that's why we get people who take a minute to soak something in, or it hits them like a deer in headlights when somebody just gives them incredible appreciation. And so take that, run with the appreciation that I've given you today, and just have a better day, hopefully just from that. Or do the opposite and find appreciation by giving appreciation. It's going to take a little bit of effort, especially if you find yourself to be prideful at times. Completely fine. I mean, I'm a prideful individual, and it's tough for me sometimes to want to put my guard down, my pride down, and say something genuinely appreciative. But I know this, that at the end of the day, if I did something in sincerity and I did something genuine, because I do believe that we all have a pretty decent understanding of what's universally morally acceptable. We may not act on it, we may not stand up for it, but I do believe that we have that embedded within our DNA. That when you do something out of sincerity, when you do something out of genuine feeling, it's known. I mean, that person's heart felt it. How their mind wants to relay that reaction is up to that person. But what you get is the knowledge of knowing that you acted in that manner, that you exposed yourself to being vulnerable to that person's reaction. But at the end of the day, you also had confidence enough in yourself to give yourself in that capacity for the sake of someone else. And I truly do hope that they accept what you have to give them if you do it out of sincerity. But again, it just takes something as small as making that statement of thank you and meaning it from the bottom of your heart. Guys, I want to appreciate, again, your time for this. I am really working on trying to keep things short, and I do apologize for that wrap up. But please let me know how you felt about this topic, and please do reach out with anything that you have on your mind that I can go over if there's enough of that coming up. I'll definitely prioritize that. I'm definitely going to skim through and see what I can pick out of those comments and try to provide more insight into the subjects that I seem to see popping up more repetitively. I do hope this helped you guys out a lot. And again, This is the voice you've always had. This is the voice you've always known. And I appreciate you so much for stopping by.